What's up, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of Nerd Alert here for this fall semester here with us. We got a freshman panel today. I'm Joseph Shirley, your host, and with me I have my panel, TA, or Tyler Aaron, and George over on the side there. First, we're going to be talking about box office from this weekend, a couple other weekends in the past, all time, and from 2023, the box office here. Then we're also going to move on to our favorite franchises, hoping to stay away from just Marvel or Star Wars in general, but we'll be talking about those as well. And then we're going to play a game here, new segment here on Nerd Alert, Wavelength. So let's get right into it. For box office weekends, we're going to be talking about the first weekend that Five Nights at Freddy's came out, had an $80 million opening first weekend. George, how do you feel about that?
So I am a FNAF fan, have been since about 2016, so that's the sixth game in the series in general. And I know that they've talked about the Five Nights at Freddy's movies in that franchise since FNAF 1.
Yeah, it's been about like 10 years.
And so a lot of people have been really waiting for this movie, so it does not surprise me that it has shot up.
Yeah, it's been great. The thing is that the critic score is not very good. 30% on Rotten Tomatoes to be exact here. But $80 million for its opening weekend so far. It's done really well, and it's only been out for about 3 weeks. But I think the thing that needs to be talked about is it was also on a streaming service, Peacock, on the day it came out on October 27th.
Mm-hmm. So that definitely, I would think that it would have decreased its overall box office sales, as with other movies that have co-released that way. However, if that's the case, which only time will tell for certain, that really suggests the fans really wanted to see this movie. I personally haven't seen it because I stood with SAG-AFTRA, and now that it's over, I'm probably going to go see it pretty soon. So with that in mind, I'm not exactly certain what that means, but
yeah.
Yeah,
but the movie was great. I did see it myself. FNAF, I watched it on Peacock. I didn't go to the theater because there's not a close theater anywhere around here. But I love the movie. TA, did you watch it?
I have indeed watched it.
What did you feel about it? Did you like it? Do you think it did service to the FNAF franchise or soon-to-be franchise?
Yeah, I think it absolutely did. And it was more storyline-oriented than what the games actually were. And the movie is already up to $220 million already so far, already putting them in the top 20 in the box office hits of the entirety of 2023.
Yeah. Moving on to other movies in the box office weekend of that weekend with Five Nights at Freddy's, Taylor Swift up here, total for $150 million over the past 3 to 4 weeks that it's been on. It's all this weekend. It got $15.4 million. So some good stuff coming out of Taylor Swift's performance. And Martin Scorsese also had a film on here, Killers of the Flower Moon. It was rated R. It's 3 hours and 26 minutes, almost as long as Oppenheimer back in June. It's made $40.9 million total. I haven't been able to see it myself. I've heard great things. Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro star in this film. Any thoughts on this?
I haven't seen it either, not gonna lie, haven't at all. However, just looking at it, listening to some of the names on the box office for this week, I'm seeing a lot of 3 hours, both in production, releasing currently, and releasing now. And I do wonder if that has something to do with Endgame and its 3 hour runtime.
It might. I think that the Oppenheimer was one of the ones that's been more popular that came out after Endgame, because Endgame was really popular, and then you have Oppenheimer came out, that was 3 hours. There's some that came into that, but not as many. So moving on from there, we're going to go to the top box office for 2023. At the top is Barbie, of course. Barbie coming out in July and having this stellar impact on pop culture in general. Barbie's done fantastic, but Taylor Swift is also up there at 19 overall for the year, and Five Nights at Freddy right behind it at 20. So we talked about those earlier, but some other films that are on here, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Fast 10, or X, Fast X, however you would like to say, and the Little Mermaid Live remake that came out with Halle Bailey as Ariel. Some controversy coming behind it, but I don't really think so. It was a great film in my opinion. I was able to watch it in theater and on the streaming service Disney+. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. Have you guys been able to see it, check it out, and anything like that?
Yeah, I have, and really, they took out some bits and pieces of the original film of it and kind of added more of a more comedy-like movie. But I thought they did a very great job with it, and overall, I mean, it's seventh on the...
And that's one thing that Disney does a lot with their live-action remakes. They always, the animated version was like an hour and a half or something, and then the live-action tends to be 2.5 hours or something. So they always find a way to add another hour of plot or music or character, something. So that stuff is always cool. But we're going to go into some of the bigger movies that have come out of 2023. Mainly the top 3 that I want to talk about are Barbie, the Super Mario movie, and Oppenheimer. The 2, Barbenheimer, has been talked about a lot. It was the summer craze that came out. But Super Mario has really shined. A lot of people thought it was going to do good, but not as well as it's done. Do you guys have any comments on that?
Yeah, so out of all 3 of those movies, the top 2 being Barbie and Super Mario Bros., the only 2 in all of 2023 to have hit over $1 billion out on the box office. And all 3 of those movies have very great scores on Rotten Tomatoes, all being above 60% in that factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both Barbie and the Mario movie are on the top grossing films of all time. Barbie is at number 14, which is the newest addition to this all-time list. And the Super Mario movie is at number 16, and it is one of 5 movies on the top 30 of animated films on the all-time list. And that's going to do it for us here on the box office segment. I'm going to send it over to Movie Minute with Josh Laird, and we'll be back with franchises.
Welcome back to Nerd Alert. I am Josh Laird. Here is your Movie Minute. The very beloved Pixar movie Inside Out, which came out in 2015, is finally getting a sequel. With the preview being released just yesterday, here is what we know so far. Riley is swiftly moving into the world of adolescence and puberty, but not everything is the same as the last film. Some of the actors will be playing their same roles, such as Joy, played by Amy Poehler, Sadness, played by Phyllis Smith, and Anger, played by Lewis Black. Disgust, who will now be played by Liza Lapira, stepping in the role previously held by Mindy Kaling. Fear, who will now be played by Tony Hale, taking over from Bill Hader. The preview for the movie introduces a brand new emotion, anxiety, played by Maya Hawke, will be sure to shake up the crew of emotions. Riley already has. Inside Out 2 will be hitting the theaters in June 2024, with a good amount of people waiting in anticipation, as it'll almost be 10 years since the last movie by the time the second one is released to the public. In our next movie, the Wonka movie, set to be released in winter of 2023, serves as a prequel to Roald Dahl's classic 1964 novel, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. As the anticipation builds, audiences are getting a first look at Timothée Chalamet's portrayal of the iconic chocolatier. While it's known that the film will explore a previously undisclosed period in Willy Wonka's history and provide an origin story, many details remain unknown. Consequently, the Timothée Chalamet Wonka movie is generating intense speculation among Roald Dahl fans and casual moviegoers who enjoy the earlier portrayals by Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp. Wonka will be released to theaters on December 15th. Make sure you don't miss it. I'm Josh Laird, and that was your Movie Minute.
Thanks, Josh. I'm back with Tyler, Aaron, and George over there on the side there. We're going to be talking about our favorite franchises here. George, I'm gonna ask you first. What's your favorite franchise?
I think my favorite franchise, at least my favorite one I want to talk about here, is Back to the Future by Steven Spielberg.
Good one.
It's one of the only franchises Steven Spielberg willingly made sequels to.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I know one of the ones that I think he should make a sequel to, at least now, because the CGI in it would be crazy, would be Jaws. But Back to the Future is still one of his better ones, although the third one's a little questionable in my mind. I don't know. I don't know about a flying train. Back to the Future, I do love it. I think that this is one of those cases that you could say a sequel is better than the original, although the original is fabulous. Back to the Future 2 is just, I love it.
Part 3, I'll admit, is a little weak. It's going for something funky of an idea for a time travel movie.
The old Western and everything.
But it has led to so many interesting events. I think my favorite little side is the Netflix film, 1,000 Ways to Die in the West.
Mm-hmm.
There is a part of it where it actually crosses over with part 3 because it's a Western film.
Yeah.
And it shows the DeLorean right after Doc Brown has got sent back in time, which is a really clever little thing.
That is pretty cool. I haven't seen that.
original.
I should check that out. You said it's on Netflix?
I believe so.
Awesome. But yeah, everything about Back to the Future, love. It's quoted, it's memed, it's everything in pop culture. So it's one of the better ones, definitely. But do you got anything more to say about Back to the Future? Anything that came out of it that you wanted to talk about?
So one thing that I was also thinking about was the 2015 event with, now I forget his name, Doc Brown's actor, that he came on.
Christopher Lloyd, I think.
Christopher Lloyd,
Yes.
that's right. So when he came on and gave like an in-universe explanation, but also it's really uplifting for such a short little segment. They have the original prop and some other stuff from the movies that rolls up in it. And it's simple. It's like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's technically the most recent content out of the Back to the Future franchise.
Yeah, I think and maybe if anything, the two, Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, they met up about 2 years ago, something like that, at like an award or something like that. That was pretty cool to see. That's the first time they've been together in a long time, so that was cool. But moving on from Back to the Future, great franchise. Tyler, what's your favorite franchise?
I have to go over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the Captain America series. Mostly my favorite being Captain America Civil War, released back in 2016. And
Can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, and I a little bit of a hot take I have too. My one gripe that I really do have with Captain America Civil War is it's really more Avengers oriented. Why can't it be called Avengers Civil War?
It feels like
instead of
Avenger
Captain
2.5.
America? Yes,
right?
It's exactly what it's
does.
like that in-between point between Age of Ultron and Infinity War.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like it makes sense that it's mostly oriented around Captain America and what happened back when Tony Stark's father passed away, Howard. And I get that, but like it just feels like an Avengers movie.
It does. And I think the main reason for that is because, like you said, Howard Stark being killed by Bucky or the Winter Soldier, you bring in Iron Man into that because he's had this trouble with his dad, and he does have dad problems. So that is really big shown into this. And then also you bring in the Sokovia Accords after Ultron, and they needed to address that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they just ended with Age of Ultron. They needed to address it somehow. So they kind of just fell on Captain America. But also with having the Winter Soldier, I think that's what makes it more of a Captain America movie. But I do understand your point.
If I may, the reason, at least, that I've always thought it's a Captain America movie, not a Avengers movie, is because Cap is the good guy. That there are several members of the Avengers who are not the main characters. They aren't objectively right. At the end, they don't win. And so, at least within like the Disney taboo, they wouldn't have a movie. I guess I was about to say they wouldn't have a movie where their heroes don't win, but the next Avengers film.
Yeah, but like I like the movies where like it's Captain America, like in a Captain America the Winter Soldier, and you have that smaller, like big character, but that's smaller, and Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow. And like even like in the Spider-Man series, Tony Stark showing up, in the Spider-Man series, and that's great. But like all the Avengers minus Thor and Hulk, because Ragnarok's taking place at that same exact time.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit awkward.
It is a bit awkward. So quick question talking about Civil War. I gotta ask: Team Cap or Team Iron Man? George, what are you?
Oh, I was Team Iron Man. Back in its heyday, absolutely Team Iron Man.
So you're sticking with Team Iron Man. All right, I'm Team Iron Man as well.
I'm Team Captain America.
Team Cap? All right, well, whatever. We'll talk about that at a later time.
He's off the show.
Right now, I'm going to move on to one of my favorites. One of my favorite franchises is not one that's normally favorite, but I'm going with the Oceans series. Whoever doesn't know what that is, it's a crime mystery thriller. Normally, people know it as Oceans 11, and then the sequel is Oceans 12, Oceans 13, and then also a kind of a reboot, kind of a remake, not really. It ties into the universe as well. Oceans 8. The Oceans 11, 12, and 13 starring George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, and Andy Garcia, and Matt Damon. It's a great film. I love it. They're heisting. They're going through Vegas. They're trying to steal things. It's one of my favorite movies. I love it. It's a comfort movie for me. But one thing that many people don't know about this franchise is that there was a 1960 version with Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Dean Martin. It's one of my favorites. It was my grandfather's favorite movie. It sticks with me and my family. My dad introduced it to me. So I think that's why it's one of my favorites. Did you guys know that there's a 1960 version or not?
No, not at all.
No.
It's great. You should totally check it out. Me being a huge Frank Sinatra fan too, I love it.
I love Frank Sinatra. One thing, because I know nothing about this series.
Yeah.
You've struck a movie I've never seen. I actually haven't heard of it before. But please tell me Ocean's 8 is a prequel.
Ocean's 8 is not a prequel. It is actually...
That makes me sad.
It's kind of... It's weird. It's so the one character is... Let me find it. Her name is Deborah Debbie Ocean, and she's the sister to Danny Ocean, who's played by George Clooney in the originals. So it... like the original one, or not the original was 1960, but the one for Ocean's 11 came out in 2004. The Ocean's 8 came out in 2018. So that one's kind of a sequel, not really, but kind of. But there is in the works currently a new one with Margot Robbie being a producer of this film. But I believe that her and Ryan Gosling will be back together again, just like they were in the Barbie movie. I think they will be playing co-partners in this film that's coming up. It's not been released yet as to when we're going to get it, how we're going to get it, anything like that. But I do know it's going to be an Oceans, I believe just a sequel to it. I don't think it's anything more. But that's going to do it for here on Franchise. We're going to move on to our next segment, Wavelength, in a bit, but coming back to you soon. What's up, nerds? Welcome back. This is going to be our third and final segment for today, Wavelength. It's a new kind of game that's going around TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that. So I'll give a brief explanation to you all. So the three of us are going to be playing. One, which is going to be me, is going to be trying to guess a number. I'm going to ask them categories like favorite movies, favorite song, favorite Taylor Swift song, stuff like that. And they're going to give me a song that's going to be as close to they think as that movie. 1 being low and 10 being high. So if I say, give me a Taylor Swift song, and they say, shake it off, I might think 8, 9, something like that. So the closest I get to their number, then I win. If I don't get their number after 4 questions, I lose. So moving on, they're going to figure out a number, and then I'm going to try and guess it. So I'm going to close my eyes, go to them, figure out what number they're going to have. I'm not going to know.
All right, you're good.
All right. George, please give me a Star Wars film.
Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Ooh, good one. I'm gonna have to say 8. I'm gonna go with number 8. So I'm keeping 8 in my mind. TA, give me a Michael Jackson song.
Ooh, Rockin' Robin.
You're going high. I'm going 9. I'm gonna move up to 9. All right, we're gonna go with 9. Now, George, coming back to you. Final category from you. Give me an actor.
Actor?
Mm-hmm.
Go with Mark Hamill.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I go with. I'm gonna go back down to an 8. I'm gonna stick with an 8. TA, final one. Got to get me to this number.
All right.
Maybe I'm already at it. Maybe I'm not. Tyler Aaron, please give me a Steven Spielberg film.
Ooh. The Sound of Music. Did he do that one?
No, he did not. Here, I'll give you this. Give me a Disney character.
Okay, a Disney character.
Mm-hmm.
Skinner.
Skinner? Who's Skinner?
The chef in Ratatouille.
What?
Chef Skinner.
It's the
What?
chef.
It's some guy.
It's the chef in Ratatouille. The head chef that
All right,
gets
I'm moving down.
fired.
I feel like I need to move down to like 3. Jeez. All right, I was at 8. I'm gonna go down to 7. Final answer, 7. What was the number?
It was
3.
3?
It was 3.
You think Revenge of the Sith is that bad?
the third movie.
What?
It's on a completely different wavelength.
I do not agree with that. No. All right. So, Tyler, you're going to close your eyes this time. George and I are going to figure out a number.
Okay.
What are we thinking? What do you want? Wait, what? How about this? How about we go with... Okay, all right. We'll go with that. All right, TA,
Okay.
welcome back. Welcome back to reality.
All right.
All right,
cool.
so go ahead and ask.
Snap back to reality.
Okay. All right. George,
Yes.
give me a Pixar film.
A Pixar film. Cars 2.
Oh, okay. I feel like we're about in the middle, in that 4 to 6 range right now. Joey, give me an Imagine Dragons song.
Ooh. Natural.
Oh, okay.
Natural.
Okay. I feel like it's a pretty average song, too, as well. I'm thinking maybe 4 and 5
Okay.
range right now.
Okay.
Come
Come on, George, you got it.
Oh, man. Okay.
Maybe.
George, I need an Avengers movie.
An Avengers movie? I'm going with Age of Ultron.
Okay, so we're definitely on the low spectrum, I think. I think we are definitely on the low spectrum with all of these guesses. Jeez, I have no clue. Okay, Joey, final one.
Yeah.
Give me a horror film.
Halloween.
Oh, okay. I still think these are all very average.
Halloween is not average.
At least in my
Halloween is
hold on.
average.
Hold on, the original Halloween
Yeah.
is one of the best horror films.
I
maybe.
don't know. All right, here's my final guess. I'm going to go 6.
You were so close. It was 7.
Ah,
You were
dang
close,
it.
but that's good. You were better than what
I
I
was close.
All right. So, George,
All right,
man.
close
all
your
right.
eyes. Turn around.
All right.
It's our turn. All right, George.
All right, George.
Okay.
Time to wake up. All right. Go ahead. Ask your question. Like this Jeep.
Give me a Steven Spielberg film.
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh, oh no.
What? I might just leave now.
I am
Might as well just
flabbergasted by that one.
Okay.
Oh no. This is a weird one.
All right. So what
'Cause it's
number
not
are you
the
at?
upper echelon.
What are you
So,
thinking?
like, it's not upper echelon, but it's far from the bottom. Like, you didn't pick something like
Okay.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
They're in the dumpsters. You're making a really hard number to guess. It's like in a range of 2 to, or no, in a range of like 6 to 8.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Give me a Pixar character.
A Pixar character.
I heard no one.
Oh man. Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, okay. So we're a little higher average. We're like 7.
Okay. Send it 7. I can deal with that. God, give me it.
Give me a Warner Brothers production.
Barbie.
Oh, okay. 7.4.
7.4.
I thought we were going 1 to 10. Now we're going to -3, please. All right.
Ooh.
This is your last question.
Yeah.
So,
This
TA,
is
we
an
really
odd
gotta
one,
get
but
this
I think this one might.
Oh.
Give me a Simpsons character.
Oh god, I don't watch The Simpsons,
Oh,
so I
man.
can't help you.
I'm
sorry.
You gotta go somewhere.
Give me a Walt Disney Productions character.
Walt Disney Productions, Mickey Mouse.
I'm gonna lock in 8.
Whoa, you're
You're
close.
close. It was 10.
10.
It was 10.
He went all the way up.
But hey, that was a good round, I think, from us. Trying Wavelength for the first, at least you two for the first time. This is not my first time, but clearly I did the worst. I said 8, and they thought, what was it, 3?
However, I also had the
That
rules
was-
backwards. I thought
True.
1 was the best and 10 was the
No,
worst
no.
at first.
I really thought Skinner was going to help you out there in the first round.
And that's going to do it all for us here on Nerd Alert. George and Tyler, thank you for joining me, Joseph Cirillo, as your host for Nerd Alert. Next week, we'll be back with the 3rd episode of Nerd Alert here on WCTV.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.